All right, welcome to today's class on listings and landing pages. My name is Leah with Scott Leroy Marketing. In today's class, I'll be taking you through talking about how your listings get into KW Command. So the KWLS 2.0 we'll be talking about. And I'll also be taking you through how to create landing pages within Command. We'll talk about what is a landing pages, different uses of them, how we can capture leads with those landing pages, and also, of course, where to locate those leads. All right, so the first thing we'll do is actually log into Command. So if you go ahead and follow me, we're going to go to agent.kw.com. Okay, and I always remember that like it's the agent login for kw.com. So again, that's agent.kw.com. And we'll put in our login and password here. Now, if you're like me and feel like you have 9 million login and passwords, first of all, I feel you. Second of all, this login and password will be the same thing as your MyKW login. So it's the same thing for Command as you log in to MyKW, same thing as you log in with the Kelly app. So they are trying to streamline all the logins so you have fewer of them, which is beautiful. All right, but if you have any trouble remembering what your login and password is, there is the option to forgot password right here to reset that. Typically, your username will be something like your first initial last name and maybe a number if your last name's a little more common. And then your password is case sensitive, so that requires an uppercase letter, lowercase letter, and a number, just in case that helps jog your memory. And you can click sign in. Of course, if that gives you any trouble, just go ahead and click forgot password, or you can shoot us an email anytime and we can help you reset your password as well. support@scottleroymarketing.com. We just need to know your Command username and we can help you reset that. All right, so as we are logging into Command, and if you're still working on logging in, no worries. We're just going to do a tad bit of housekeeping first. The first thing I need to make sure is set up for you guys is your Command marketing profile. Now this is extremely important as this is where all of your contact information pulls from. Any marketing material you create in the system will all pull your contact information from one exact spot. So I would recommend jotting down these, it's about 4 steps to get there, jotting those down because anytime that you have, let's say, an email address change or you change your headshot or a phone number, whatever the case may be, you can always go to this one spot to change your contact information and it will autofill your branding correctly onto everything within Command. So to do that, step 1 is we are clicking our name on the top right of Command. Step 2, let's go ahead and click Settings from that drop down. Step 3, and I'll say these again, don't worry if you miss them. Step 3, we're going to click on that Connect Settings option on the left-hand side. And step 4 for Marketing Profile. All right, so again, those 4 steps are your name on the top right of Command, Settings from that drop down, Connect Settings on the left-hand side. There's only one option under there, so that Marketing Profile. And again, the reason this is so important, this section, is this is where literally every piece of your contact information pulls from in the system. So if you go to create a landing page, like today's class, all of your contact information will autofill. This autofills onto your IDX website, your mobile app, smart plan emails, when you make designs, you name it, this is where your contact information pulls from. So really important to eye over this and make sure it's set up in general. So if you scroll down, first of all, if this is not set up for you quite yet, we are happy to do this for you. I'll put a link in the chat that you can just copy. And if you filled out this link after class, it would just prompt us to go ahead and set up your marketing profile here and your Command IDX website as well, for that matter. So if you'd like us to do that for you, I did throw that in the chat. If you're watching this recorded, that link is just scottleroymarketing.com/command. All right, so as you are scrolling down here, you will need to make sure that you're filling in all the required fields. So it'll either say required or you'll see that red asterisk next to the fields that are marked required. I want to point that out because you will see these red stars a lot throughout Command, right? So always pay attention to those marking required field. Great question, Parker. Parker is asking how you remove the team logo. As of now, there is not a way to remove that team logo. However, the workaround we've been using is to actually replace it with a realtor logo. So if you would like us to do that for you, feel free to shoot us an email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd be happy to replace the team logo. It would have like the realtor trademarked R there instead. So that would be the best workaround at this time. So as we keep scrolling down, guys, I just want you to eye over all this information, make sure this is correct, and this autofills everywhere. So kind of important it's all correct. You know, jot down any notes, you know, if you notice, oh, I kind of need to work on my bio here, or, you know, you can come back here, of course, anytime and make changes. As you scroll down, you'll see more and more options like your social media. You can add in like your Facebook link, Twitter, and so forth. You can add in Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics ID. And I know I'm mentioning these items pretty fast here, but as a reminder, we can do these things for you. So if you would like for us to help you with Facebook Pixel or adding in your social media ID or Google Analytics, shoot us an email. We're more than happy to do so. Again, that's support@scottleroymarketing.com. All right, good question. So the question that just came in the chat is that the name is incorrect up here, but it's displaying correct in your marketing profile. The name on the very top right of command does pull from Winmore, which is the KW system that only your office staff has access to, typically your MCA specifically, which is who you pay your agent bill to or cuts your commission check. That helps. So I would just chat with your MCA, shoot them an email after class, and let them know your name just needs to be updated, and they can update it in Winmore, it's called. And if you need help with that, feel free to shoot us an email and we can CC your staff as well. All right, guys, so if you made any changes here, make sure you do click save on the very bottom. And again, of course, I know that wasn't enough time to really go through and fill that out, but make sure you jot down notes of anything that you want to come back to. All right, so that's really all the housekeeping and the settings we need to do for this class. So I want to go ahead and jump on over to the KWLS 2.0 to talk about how your listings come into command. So if you could join me by clicking on, so the listings, the KWLS 2.0 is the icon on the very far left menu here that looks like a listing sign. And just as you're starting to learn the navigation of the command menu, just a little tip, if you click the KW logo on the very top left, it will pan out this menu so you can go ahead and see, you know, what each icon means so you can learn the navigation. So we do want to go ahead and click on that listings option. It'll be the second from the bottom. Just my little spiel for how to best learn command. First of all, we do have, you know, a 30-day challenge that I can show you guys near the end of class if you're unsure of, you know, what classes to watch next and so forth. So I will show you guys that. However, you know, to best learn command, really, if you can find some time this weekend to just throw your feet up and just really click down this list right here to just see what access you have in command, see what opportunity you have, what tools you have to grow your business. We then have, you know, 10-minute tip videos and, you know, hour detailed videos on how to use each one of these tools. So my main encouragement in starting to learn command is really just to explore around. Try to not make your blood pressure rise as you're learning new technology, which I tell myself every time and it still does, right? But click around, see what you have the access to grow your business, and then we can help you learn that or implement it into your business. All right, that's the end of my spiel. So again, if you could join me at the listings icon, looks like a little listing sign, that will take you into the KWLS 2.0. Now the KWLS 2.0, at the top, you'll see my KWLS and a listing search here. And I need to switch actually to a non-incognito window. 1 second, I'll pull that over. All right, but when you are under my KWLS, that should group all of your listings under there. Now, if your listings are not showing under my KWLS, first of all, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your account. KW is just still working on getting all of your listings categorized and easier to find right under here, under my listings. So you can shoot them a quick message in order to get it grouped over here. However, they will still be in there typically under the listing search. So I'm going to explain more of that as we go along. So if that is your situation, hang tight for a second. All right, but let's check over in the listing search. So just because your listing isn't showing up under my KWLS, again, in general, they would be under the listing search. All right, well, that's okay. All right, and it might ask you at this point if it can know your location, and I would recommend letting it. I know it always sounds a little creepy, but it does really help you find the listings in your area. My location services are off and my settings keeps reverting back. All right, but if it did know my location, it would zoom right in on my area and show the listings specifically around my area. But you can see, right, as I was just looking at the entire US, I actually have listings to search. I actually have access to search all listings across the entire US and parts of Canada. So this listing search, what comes into your command account automatically, these listings are all listings across the entire country and parts of Canada. So not just the homes that are in your MLS. And again, this is how now happening automatically. And this KWLS 2.0 is what is powering pretty much all of your tools in Command. So your Command IDX website will automatically have all listings across the entire country searchable on your site. Your mobile app, same answer. If you share any smart plans or, you know, especially if you have a friend in California and let's say you're on the East Coast and, you know, they're playing with your mobile app or your website, the cool thing is you are still able to capture leads, right? You're still able, that's still usable to your clients in California because they can search homes in California. So very cool. It allows you to capture leads across the entire country. And of course, you know, if you get a lead in California and you're East Coast, you can always refer that out for the 25%. So let's say, oh yeah, great question, Mary Grace. This is all listings, not just KW listings. So I know mine's being a little finicky. I'll try to pull that back up so I can more easily show you. There we go. All right, yes, it's all listings, not just KW listings, all listings. So very cool. If you guys had, you know, a website with KW in the past, you probably know about setting up IDX feeds. It's a bit of a hassle and confusing. That is no longer necessary. All listings across the entire US automatically come into your command account as long as they're active in the MLS. That's the key. So as long as they're active in the MLS, it will be searchable in command and on your website. It typically takes less than 24 hours to come over. I have heard that KW's goal is to have these pull over every 16 minutes, and I see that pulling over really quickly. So just a heads up, but let's talk about if you're not able to find your listing, what we do, okay? So again, typically you don't have to do anything. You put your listing live in the MLS, it comes over to command automatically into the KWLS 2.0, and you can use that listing information, which I'll show you today, to create landing pages. So you can search for your listing under this listing search by either property address or MLS number. Yeah, I really like searching by MLS number. It just makes it a little more straightforward. All right, so you can go ahead and search the listing search directly for your listing. In theory, though, this should be under your My KWLS as well. KW is working on grouping all of your listings under your, you know, My Listings, My KWLS to just make them easier for you to find. So in the case that that's not happening, right, your listings are not showing under My KWLS, or in the case that your listing isn't coming to command at all, which is pretty rare these days, which is a wonderful thing to say. But either way, this is how you go about fixing it. KWRI just needs to push that over on their back end, and they're typically pretty quick about it. So how you need to report that to them is clicking the question mark on the top right of command. I might suggest jotting this down. So a question mark on the top right of command, and then chat with support. This is a live chat, or you can leave a message and they'll, you know, email you back an answer. I use both and they're great features. So this is just a live support here. When you, just a heads up, when you first say something, like if I said my listing was not here, it will try to tell me some support articles I can check out. But if you wait a second, it'll then give you the option to live chat or leave a message, just so you guys know to look out for that. All right, but again, if your listings are not in command or they're not under My Listings, KWRI can fix that up right away on their back end. Just shoot them a message, let them know what your, you know, the property address is, the MLS number, and typically telling them the MLS board it's a part of helps as well. And of course, if you guys have any questions or you need our assistance in that, shoot us an email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We're more than happy to help. Gotcha, interesting. So Sabrina is saying that anytime she has a listing, she has to wait till the next day for it to be in the system. It does tend to vary depending on your MLS. So if that is in that 24-hour time around, that's still normal for KWRI systems. So thank you for bringing that up, Sabrina. However, KW is working on making this as instantaneous as possible. So as soon as you put your MLS, listing in the MLS, it'll come over. But for right now, it might be 24 hours depending on your board. Thanks, Sabrina. All right, guys, so now let's talk about actually using this listing information, because another reason this is so beneficial, not just that your clients can search all listings across the US automatically, which is very cool, but you can also use these listings in here to create marketing material, and it brings over information from the MLS, making your life easier. So let's go ahead and create a listing landing page to kick this off and help show you guys how it works. I think you guys will really like the landing page feature in Command. I find it shockingly easy to work with and enjoyable. So I'll take you guys through that and you can tell me what you think. All right, so on the left-hand side, let's go ahead and click on the Consumer tab. And as far as listings in all of Canada, last I heard they say parts of Canada, so I'm not sure if there are specific areas they're still working on. If you're not seeing your listings, we can definitely check into that for you. So if you are a Canadian agent and not seeing your listings, shoot us an email. We're more than happy to help you look into that. Yes, you can create landing pages if the listing is not yours. So let's take a look at that. So where we are going next is the Consumer tab. So it's the very bottom option. Very bottom option, the Consumer tab. All right, and this is where you will go to access the back end of your agent website, landing pages, which is what we're focusing on today, and your mobile app. So, anything that's consumer facing is the idea, will be edited from the Consumer tab. So very bottom option. And we're going to go ahead and create a test landing page, or you can do it for a real listing, by clicking on Create a New Page on the very top right. Right, and we do have to change it for a landing page, so you do need to change it to as a landing page. And at this point, let's talk about what is a landing page, right? It's a good question, right? One that I was asking myself at the beginning of learning all of this as well. And so a landing page is, you might hear it called different things like a funnel page or a squeeze page. The idea behind it is to capture leads, okay? It's a single property website that's specifically designed, a single page website that's specifically designed to capture leads. And typically the strategy behind a landing page is, I will offer you something of value for your contact information. So for example, I don't know about you, but I do everything in my power to not give my contact information over the internet. I don't want more emails. I don't want to be contacted more, right? So I do everything I can not to give my contact info. However, providing something of value in return for their contact info is the idea behind a landing page. So, is that item a 10% off coupon at Lowe's? Is that item a free CMA on their neighborhood? Is that item, a private tour on the home they're interested in? Right? The idea is creating something of value in exchange for their contact information. So again, to do that, just to walk you through where we are after that little spiel, we clicked on the consumer icon on the very bottom left menu in Command. Then we clicked on create a new page on the top right. And then we are clicking as a landing page. And then we can click create page. All right, so this will bring up this lovely blank page on the left-hand side. So this right here is basically your template for the landing page. On the right-hand side, these are our widgets that make it extremely easy to create the landing page. So all we need to do is click on a widget on the right-hand side and drag it to our blank page to go ahead and lay that. Now I'll suggest some widgets that I like to use, and I'll try to get it so that you guys can see most of them here. All right, but I typically start with that branded header. So if you'd like to as well, go ahead and click on branded header. click and hold your mouse to drag it over to the blank page on the left-hand side, and then you can release your mouse. Now, don't worry too much about, how something's displaying right now. We're going to go back and edit these items. Right now, we're just laying the template. So for example, my phone number, I need dashes. I'll have the opportunity to actually edit these items. All right, so hold tight on that. However, we are just laying the general template of our landing page. So what I want to show you guys right now is how to create like a just listed or a just sold page, right, that will help you capture leads from that specific listing. Right? And this listing or sold landing page can be used on your Facebook ads or to put on your social media. And we'll go through that after we create it. Right? But on the right-hand side, let's go ahead and add some more widgets. So I usually add the listing widget next. So if you'd like to go ahead and click the listing widget, click and hold and drag over. I just want to point out this green line right here. The green line will show you where on the page you're dropping that, above the widget you laid before or under. So once I'm satisfied, I can go ahead and release the widget and it will lay it. And obviously, this is not your listing, so I wish it was, or I wish I could just live here. All right, but we will, again, go ahead and pick the listing of this widget. Right now, we're just laying the template. So you can scroll down and you can see how cool this widget is overall, especially once we change it over to your property. You can see how clean it looks, right? All this information will automatically pull from the MLS. The pictures will pull from the MLS, the details, you name it. All right, but let's go ahead and lay a couple more widgets before we take a look at how that part works. So on the right-hand side, I usually like to go ahead and put in my contact box, which is called lead form. I always forget. So the lead form is like the contact me box. So we can go ahead and grab that, click and hold, and then you can release to go ahead and drop that. Okay, and I'm just gonna add a couple other widgets to show you guys what it looks like. All right, so if you would like to add these further widgets, feel free. I'm just gonna show you so you can also watch on my screen. So in the case that you want to go ahead and add maybe like a virtual tour of the listing as well, you can actually add a video to the landing page now. So this video option, again, I'm clicking, holding, and I can lay it above the previous widget or on the bottom. Okay, I'm just gonna grab two more widgets, mainly to show you guys what they do. And we will be editing all of this, so hang tight to those questions if this isn't editing quite yet. I'm going to add the market snap as well. Right, and I like this because it shows neighborhood information. So the market snap, right, show active and sold statistics in the specific neighborhood that the listing is in. And again, we'll be taking a look at how to change that to the actual neighborhood the listing's in. And last but not least, I usually like to end it with some agent branding. So no matter where they are, if they're looking at the bottom, they would see your contact information. So I'm going to click agent branding, click and hold, and drag that to the bottom. Okay. And all of this information is pulling from the command marketing profile, right? So any of the information you're seeing, your contact information, this does pull from your command marketing profile where we started class. So if something's incorrect, just make a mental note to go back there and edit that. Okay, so now I laid the general layout of how I want my landing page to look. However, you'll see that the publish page option on the very top right is grayed out. Okay, it will not let you publish it without first configuring it. So you always need to configure the widgets. So if you're taking notes, I would put a star next to configure widgets. Okay, very important step. As you'll see, this is going to allow us to actually edit the items on this landing page. So I'm going to click configure widgets. Oh, and just before I do, guys, I just want to point out there are also content blocks. So I honestly 98% of the time use just the widgets because you can see how easy it is to edit that. However, there are also content blocks if you want to add an individual image or an individual text box to say more about the home or anything further. I just want to let you know those are there. All right, so configure widgets, that button on the very bottom right. Not all widgets have to be edited. So you'll notice when I click it on configure widgets, it does show me a list of all the widgets that I have, along with some that are checked already green and some that are not. So in order for the publish page option to become available, all of these need to be green. So we're actually going to start from the top. So I'm going to take you to the branded header, and we're going to take our way through all of these widgets. And by the end of it, you'll know most of them. All right, so I clicked on the branded header, that top widget. All right, and on some of these widgets, there's just not a whole lot to edit. So in this one, for example, most of your information is pulling from your command marketing profile. So of course you can edit any of that information. But the primary thing to edit here is the header text, right? That's not required, but it would allow you to put something like just listed or just sold or proudly presenting. You know, I do a lot. I'll do proudly presenting 123 Main Street, right? Now, just a heads up, it's not very long how many characters you can do. This is my max, it's 30 out of 30. So you might kind of have to play with your verbiage here to fit that in. However, as soon as you add in the verbiage you want to say, you can click on Save and Apply on the bottom, and it will pop it in right away. All right, so if you're not liking how it looks initially, no worries. You can go back, change it, and click Save, and it will update it right away. All right, so now that I think everything looks okay on the top here, I'm going to go. All right, just in case you guys lost me, I did click on Configure Widgets on the bottom. So assuming that you are on the landing page still, right, that we're working on creating, just make sure you click the Configure Widgets on the right-hand side, and that'll take you into the editing portion. So we can go ahead and edit each one of these widgets. Hopefully that helped catch you up. All right, so I was in that branded header, right? I'm in that top widget. And you'll see the arrows on the top of each of the widgets that'll take you through the widget. So I can actually click on the arrow on the top right to zoom on over to the next widget, which is the listing widget. So we just need to go ahead and browse listings, which will actually browse the KWLS 2.0, right? The same icon that was on the left side command menu, right? It all ties together. So we're going to browse our listings. And you can browse by either the MLS number or property address. Again, I really like browsing by the MLS number, searching that way. Just a little more direct, but you can absolutely do either one. So as you go ahead and search for that, you can click select. Now, I did see some questions on, can you do this for listings that are not your own? So technically, the technology absolutely allows that. So if you are doing an open house for an agent and you want to create, an open house landing page, you can create that with other agents' listings. Now, with that being said, typically just creating marketing material in general for other agents' listings, typically they won't mind because it's extra exposure for their listing. However, I would recommend running that by them. Typically, you still would want their approval to create any marketing material from their listings. But especially as a new agent, of course, if you don't have any listings quite yet, doing open houses on listings, promoting those, open houses and those listings would be a really valuable way for you guys to start capturing leads. All right, so let's go ahead and click select next to any of the widgets. You guys can just pick one to practice on. All right, and typically, I think Chrome, it's only showing me one list or one photo. And depending on the listing that you select from the MLS, it should pull over all photos from the MLS automatically. Okay, so depending on that listing, if it's yours, I'm sure, you have multiple photos of that listing in the MLS, then you would have multiple options right here, and you can select which photo needs to go right here. All right, so for example, if you have a beautiful home photo or a front photo or a beautiful back photo, you can actually select which photo you want to highlight here, whereas the rest of the photos will be scrolling at the bottom here. All right, so now that I have that listing widget or the listing selected. Of course, you can see I can change the listing or make it a custom image. So I'll go ahead and select that one image. There's only one in the MLS for this one, and I'll click Save and Apply. I can see that adds the listing in with all the listing information. And again, if it had multiple photos in the MLS, that would scroll. And scrolling on down, right, it updated all the details and features it pulled over directly from the MLS. And it should update the map as well. To answer some of the questions that came in, you are not able to change the font or color size with these widgets. It's a great question. So especially with the top, you know, it is what it is as far as the font goes. You can add in custom text boxes or images, of course, as a workaround. But currently, KW does not have a way to edit the font or coloring. I'm hoping that's something that they'll add in the near future with further releases. It would be a great thing to add to ideas.kw.com, which I'm going to drop in the chat. So ideas.kw.com is how you can let KW know of good ideas to add to the system. All right, and I'll keep answering questions as we go through, guys, so don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. All right, so after this widget is taken care of, I'm going to click the arrow on the top right to go to the next widget. So you can see that was widget 2 out of 6 on the top. And I'm going to click the next arrow to hop on down to the next widget. Since this is just a contact box, not a whole lot that we can do to edit here. It only lets you edit this top part. All right, so right here we can go ahead and change if you would rather it say, you know, contact for a private showing or contact for a free CMA. Whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and change that. And I will be showing you where leads come to, right, when they fill out this contact page. So I'll show you that in a second here after we finish this. But we do want to, or you can change this at the top and click Save and Apply, and that pops it in automatically. All right, so I'm going to the next button here on the top right. So next button on the top right, so the next arrow rather. And that'll take us down to our video widget. Now, these widgets, you know, the widgets I'm using are definitely debatable. You can use whichever ones that you would like. I just want to show you how the video widget works in case that you have a virtual tour. Those are really great to add to your landing pages. Honestly, any sort of video marketing is now the top thing that you can do on a marketing level to really get the client intrigued at what they're looking at and to connect to you as the agent on a more personal, trusting level. So in order to add a video, if you decide to, like if you create a video about the area the listing's in even, or a virtual tour, like if you pay your photographer to do a virtual tour, you can go ahead and add that in. It would just need to be on YouTube first or a similar platform. So either YouTube or a site like Vimeo, or, you know, if you have a photographer that does these for you, typically they'll put it on YouTube or something for you to share it with you. So you really just need that hosted on a video platform like YouTube. So, and if you're not sure how to do that, it's actually very easy to add to YouTube. I'll pull it up on another page to show you guys because I'm signed in over here. So as you can see, I have a child. If you're on youtube.com signed in, right, it will allow you to just go ahead and create a new video on the top right. I was actually shocked at how easy it was to add videos to YouTube. But if you have any questions on that, I know that was just a quick show. So just let us know. All right, so what I'll do is go ahead and search. So let's say for Keller Williams. Let's say mobile app. All right, and so KW does provide a lot of really great video marketing to market Keller Williams. I think the video marketing team is phenomenal with KW. So even if you're not creating video content, you can also add videos by searching Keller Williams. It's alarming. All right, so what I'm going to do is I go ahead and open the video on YouTube. Okay, these are the steps. I'm going to click share on the bottom. So the video would need to be on YouTube first. I click on share on the bottom. Click copy. So click copy. Now we're going to go over to our video widget. Here we go. And we're going to paste it in right here. And I'm going to show you guys that again, because I know that was a couple steps. Okay. However, silly me, I forgot my computer charger downstairs, so give me about 30 seconds. I'm going to run to grab that, and I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, guys. Feel free to play with that video for just a second more. All right, I'm back. Thanks for your patience, guys. Ran like the wind, so if I sound a little out of breath, well, you know, stairs are hard. All right, we're all good to go. Thanks again, guys. Okay, yes, and these questions are really good ones in the chat. I'll be answering that next. So let's talk one more time, just go over those steps to getting the YouTube video onto your landing page. So in case you'd like to jot this down, you can go to youtube.com and search for the video you're looking for. So go ahead and open that, and we'll click on share right under the video. We'll then go ahead and click copy. And that copies the URL. That's right here. And I just have that in a separate tab. So I'm going to go back to the tab where my landing page is. And where it says video URL, I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. All right, so once you've pasted that video in, you can go ahead and put a headline. So if you want to write in virtual tour and put in a description, you absolutely can, and click save and apply. All right, so one more time, how you would go ahead and add that to YouTube. So you would add the video first to YouTube, and if you need steps on that, shoot us an email, okay? But you can also just search for an existing video on YouTube or Vimeo, whatever platform you're using. We're clicking share on the bottom of the video to copy that link. So that's the link that you'll need. And you'll notice it's very cool if I just come on over to my landing page. All I have to do is really put in that video URL and click save and apply, and it adds that in automatically. All right, guys. And we do have a 10-minute tip video on this as well. If you're going through it and need any help on it, we're more than happy to help. All right, guys, so I'm going to the next widget. So on the very top right, we're on the home stretch here for the widgets as far as these go, and then I'll be answering your questions. So for the market snap here, all right, so new market snap. What a market snap is giving them like a snapshot of the neighborhood that they might be looking in, right, that this listing's in. So how we go ahead and update this is you'll put in the postal code of that existing listing, whatever listing you're doing a landing page for. And once you put in the postal code, that'll then update the list of neighborhoods in the dropdown to literally every neighborhood in that zip code. I haven't seen that these are alphabetized or anything. I'm not sure what specific order they're in, if it's a distance, but you will have to scroll to kind of search for the for that neighborhood that you're looking for, and click save and apply. So I do not recommend putting in a header text, simply because it keeps this if you do not, and it keeps like the dual coloring, which I appreciate. Totally up to you. You can change the header. I just don't recommend it because I do like that layout. But again, all we did here is put in the zip code, and we can select the neighborhood, and you can see that pulls over all the active and sold stats automatically from that specific neighborhood. Good question, Jim. I'm not sure if you're able to add more than one market snap. I'll try that next. I feel like you should be able to. It's a great question. All right, so we'll click Save and Apply if you made any changes. And last but not least, guys, we're on the 6 out of 6 widgets, which is really just your agent branding. Anytime it's your agent branding, again, that should all be pulling over from the command marketing profile. So overall, it should be correct. If you notice something that keeps being incorrect, just make sure you're changing that from your command marketing profile. And let's click Save and Apply. All right, so you'll notice now that I click Save and Apply, I now have the option to publish the page on the top right because all of the widgets have been completed. So I'm just going to click on this back arrow to the left of the widget name here to show you guys that it will show all green check marks. So now it shows that all the widgets are selected or are completed, and it will let me publish them. But I had some good questions on if you can add additional widgets at this time, and you can. Sorry, I clicked on Done on the very bottom of that. It was a teal button. No, that was a little fast. Oh, here we go. I clicked on Done right here, and that will take me back to add in further widgets. So you can absolutely keep editing at this point, adding in further widgets. Like if you liked that market snap I used, feel free to go ahead and click to drag it over. And let's find out if you can add, I want to say yes, you can add different market snaps. Just gonna test it for you. Maybe not. Oh, maybe. Okay. 2, 3. Okay. I'm just testing out if you can do 2 separate areas. So it looks like that one saved and that one. Yeah. So it looks like that's no problem for Jim. You can add more than one market snap, and that's really cool if you're trying to promote an entire area, for example. Great point, Jim. You can also delete these widgets. That's also a great point. Sorry. So you can delete any of these widgets or move them around. All right, you need to be back on the widgets to do so though. So if you're configuring the widgets like I am, you need to click Done. So basically to edit any of the widgets, to add additional widgets or move them around or delete them, you just need to make sure you're not configuring the widgets. So we can switch back and forth easily just by clicking Done, right? I can tell I'm configuring the widgets right now. So I can click on Done, and this takes me back to adding more widgets. So if I wanted to delete a widget, no, not. We might have to do it before we configure them. Interesting. Let's see if I can figure out a way for you guys. Typically, whenever you add a new widget, you can absolutely delete it by clicking on it, and you will get a little icon, a little trash can icon. I'm not sure if it's just my browser. When you guys click on your widgets, are you seeing a trash can icon? Might just be my browser not displaying that. Typically, to answer your question, typically when you add a widget, you can just click and it will give you a trash can icon and allow you to move that around. I don't see the trash can icon. I see it's letting me move it around, but typically it would give me a trash can icon to delete that right away. Okay, I think it's great. Thanks, Rebecca. So Rebecca's saying she sees the trash can. I think it's just my browser being weird and not showing that icon. So great, when you click on a widget, it's a little trash can icon. We'll delete that right away. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and now that we completed our landing page, let's go ahead and rename it on the very top left, and I'll talk to you about how to best share your landing page in order to get leads and where those leads come from. So on the top left, we can go ahead and change this to, let's say, new listing, 123 Main Street, whatever it is. It's just for you to see. And we can click Publish Page on the right-hand side. Now, don't worry, guys. Just because you're clicking Publish Page doesn't mean that anyone will see it. Okay, really, no one will find this landing page unless you go through. I'm just going to change the name. Unless you actually share it. So again, feel free to go ahead and publish the page. No one will see it, even if it's not ready. All right. So I clicked on Publish Page on the top right there. And when I come back to the Consumer tab, it will be taking me to the agent site pages first. So we need to change the top white toolbar to actually view your landing pages instead. Okay, so we're going to talk about now, so this is your published landing page. I can tell it's published because it's on here. I can easily make it inactive or active on the right-hand side, left-hand side, goodness, with this little toggle right here. And I can see that URL. If I were to click on that landing page, you can see what it looks like from a consumer's perspective. I'm Xing out if you did that with me. It just opens in a new tab. So you can always click to see what the landing page looks like. You can view the number of leads that you've acquired from that landing page. And again, I'll be showing you where to view those leads. And I can also do things on the far right with these three dots, like edit it. Of course, we have delete and deactivate, but you can also change the URL. So let's start there because let's talk about how we can best distribute these landing pages. So first, let's talk about putting landing pages on your signs, like your physical, just listed signs, listing signs. So a lot of agents, what they'll do is they, instead of having a flyer box out, you can actually create this listing landing page instead, and you can order a rider, like the top of the sign that you can replace on the very top with the small skinny portion on the top. Agents will order a rider and they will put their landing page for that rider so that when people drive by, they can actually go to the landing page right away and view all the property detail information, the pictures of the home, and actually contact you right from there, which is very cool because I don't know about you, but I don't want another piece of paper. I don't want to stop my car. I want to be able to be driving past a sign and see, okay, what website do I go to view the details of this property? Now, with that being said, this is the current URL. That's a little crazy, right? And definitely not what you're going to remember driving past a sign. So let's talk about how we can customize this a little better. So first of all, just a heads up, you can change the URL from the three dots. However, it only allows you to change this portion of it. So still not a very clean URL. So what you can do instead, and please keep in mind, this is not required. This is just recommended or an idea of what you can do. You can go to GoDaddy.com and purchase a domain name for this landing page. So if you're not familiar with domain names, it's pretty much just like buying a website address. So since this is such a crazy website address, you could instead buy 123mainstreet.com or whatever the address is, whatever you would like. And typically they're about $12 a year, a domain name. So it's nothing crazy. And you can get your first domain name for, I believe, $2 with GoDaddy. We have a discount. If you want to shoot us an email, we can send you a link. However, once you purchase that domain name, so let's say you get 123mainstreet.com, you can shoot us an email, support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we can actually forward your domain to this landing page. So if anyone goes to 123mainstreet.com, it would take them directly to this page. Okay, so then you could get a rider that says 123mainstreet.com, put it on the top of your sign so anyone driving by can right away see the property details. They can contact the listing agent and request a private showing right from this page. All right, and not to mention your listing client thinks, wow, this agent is incredible. They created a personalized website to only promote my listing, right? Pretty cool, right? And so this is a great way for you to capture leads and also impress your listing client. All right, so that's just one idea of how you can put it on your signs. You can, yeah, that was actually you read my mind, Rebecca. You can also add QR codes. QR codes would be best typically, if you're putting this on a flyer or a postcard when they like have it in their hand. You can absolutely put a QR code on your sign, but depending on, if they're typically driving past your sign, they'll need their phone in order to click on the QR code. If you're not familiar with QR codes, it's pretty much like that bar scan looking thing that you can actually pull up the photo app, the camera app on your phone, and that will scan the QR code and take you to a specific website like this one. So if you're needing that created, we can actually create that for you for free. right? So if you would like us to create a QR code for your landing page or any website for that matter, shoot us an email, support@scottloraymarketing.com. We'd be more than happy to. So either options are really great ones for flyers, postcards, or your sign. Now let's talk about promoting these landing pages on your social media, which is free, which is beautiful. All right, so I'm going to pull up my Facebook page just to give you guys an example of how easy it is to share your landing page on social media. So if you have a Twitter account or your Facebook business account, you can absolutely post this on your Facebook business account to start promoting your landing page or your listing. Okay. So what I could do, and this would not necessarily require a domain, you can actually go ahead and copy this URL. So I'll right click on it and copy. You can just watch on my screen if you would like. But you can pull up your Facebook business page or your Facebook page in general. And you can go ahead and create a post by adding in, sorry, that was a little fast. I just right clicked to paste it. So you can paste that URL in. And what it does that I love is it'll post the main photo of the home on your Facebook page as well. Right, and they could click on it to view any further details. But, you could write something else under it, like, contact me for a private showing to see the gleaming hardwoods and beautiful built-in shelving, all that wonderful stuff to promote your listing on here as well. So you can actually add an extra blurb right here and post this directly to your Facebook business page. Now, with that being said, there are ways to actually utilize your, social media marketing from command directly. So I'm just going to loosely mention those items so that you can watch those tip videos or classes after this class if that's something you're interested in. But just to let you guys know, you can actually set up Facebook ads and you can post on social media directly from command. So just to very quickly overview it for you, I'm just again going to show you kind of its capabilities so that you can explore this feature after class, okay? So this will be just a little quick overview. But just a heads up, in the campaign section of command, you can come in here and actually set up paid ads. So if you would like to set up a Facebook ad for one of your listings, we would then recommend using that listing landing page that we created in today's class to link to the Facebook ad. So when you're creating the campaign, it'll prompt you. So when you click create campaign and to run the Facebook ad, which is a paid service, by the way. So that's a social ad. So Facebook ads do cost through command, but they're a great way to get in front of your non-Mets, so people you have that are not currently in your sphere. Okay, Facebook ads or social media ads, they're paid because it puts you in front of more than just your database. It's putting you in front of people you would not otherwise necessarily be in contact with. So that's what you're paying for there. But when you do use those Facebook ads, you will be prompted for a link that you want people to be taken to view after they fill out the lead form, and the listing landing pages are phenomenal for that. And we do have a tip video I'll grab after today's class. I'll send it in the chat on how to go ahead and set up these Facebook ads. So stay tuned if you would like that. Just a heads up, you can also add social posts, which are free. So if you would like to just schedule out posts in command for free, which again, I like that word, you can also use social posts in command. So if you've ever used Hootsuite, it's kind of like that, where, let's say I want to go ahead and schedule a post for July 4th, but I don't want to be on my computer on July 4th. You can go ahead and create a social post that'll pretty much just post on your social media on that future date. And again, that is free. So if you want to go ahead and promote your listing landing page in that way, right, you can post out links this way as well. And this will be posting on your Facebook business page. Good question. The question is, can you add a 3D interactive tour to the landing page? It would depend on where that's being hosted, because if once you say the platform, I'll remember. Some of them are not compatible. If you have a link to that 3D interactive tour, I'd be more than happy to test it out. after class. I know that there are some compatibility issues, but I'd be more than happy to double check to see if I can find a workaround to get those added in, because they're very cool. So shoot me an email on that if you don't mind, support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can put attention my name, which is Leah, L-E-A-H. All right, guys, so the last couple things I want to show you guys are how you can easily turn a listing landing page into an open house sign-in sheet. And then I'm going to wrap up class showing you just where all of our leads are going, okay? So again, I'm going to show you how you can create an open house sign-in sheet from a landing page that, again, will capture leads from your open house. So to do that, I'm going to go over to the consumer section, and this won't take long, especially since you guys have your feet wet with landing pages and the widgets now. All right, so I'm on the consumer tab, right? This is where we create our landing pages. And we click create a new page. And I'm just gonna show you guys this from scratch real quick. So create new page on the top right. And then as a landing page. This is a great reminder for you guys on how to create landing pages in general, because I know it's been minutes now. So consumer tab on the left-hand menu, create a new page, and then as a landing page. And create page. Okay, so when I create an open house sign-in sheet, I typically only use a few widgets here because this is typically something I would have up open on my computer or my iPad at the open house. So typically I would go ahead and create this open house sign-in sheet prior to my open house, then have my iPad out or computer at the open house, and I would let them know something like, you know, for security reasons, the sellers would really like everyone to log in or, you know, sign in, whatever spiel you would like to say to help get them to add their contact information, because that is how you would capture the lead, and the leads go directly to your command database, which again, I'll show you right after this. So the widgets I typically use for this, and again, totally up to you which widgets you're using, but I really just use 3. I do usually start with the agent branding at the top. No, I lied, sorry. Well, this is good. Now the trash can is coming up, so this is good to show you. I added the wrong one. I usually start with the branded header, actually. So I can delete this widget by clicking on it and then clicking on that trash can to get rid of it. That's good anyway for you guys to see. So instead, I usually start with the branded header. All right, but then instead, then I add the lead form, okay, because we're going to use this lead form as the open house sign-in. So this will be like the sign-in sheet, because when they fill this in, it comes directly over to your command database. And then lastly, I usually add the listing on the left-hand side just so they can scroll down and see more information about the listing. And that's typically really all I do, because again, they're just viewing this quickly on my computer here, signing in, and then they're going to view the home live, right? They're in front of me. So I don't really need a lot of frills here. I really just need to keep them near the top here to go ahead and sign in. So, but again, totally up to you. You can add any of these widgets on the right-hand side. And just a reminder, because I know you guys were asking some questions on customization for these widgets, right? And I know I told you it was a little limited right now, but you can add further text boxes or images to kind of customize that a little further outside of just the normal widgets. All right, but let's go ahead and click on Configure Widgets one more time on the very bottom. You can make any changes here. So maybe the header text, I want to say welcome to, and we'll see what I can fit, the let's say I wanted to say welcome to the open house up here. So once I make any changes, I just click save and apply, and I'll pop that in right away. I know it's going to be a little faster, guys, but you can always go back and change that and click save and apply if needed. But I'll click on the next button on the right-hand side to go ahead and change this one as well. So maybe I'll write something like, please sign in. You know, or you can go ahead and write like 123 Main Street. Welcome to 3 Main Street, whatever you'd like to say, please sign in, and save and apply. Lastly, we can go ahead and add in that listing widget on the bottom here. So I'm just going to the next arrow to go ahead and select the listings, right? So I'm just going through these widgets on the top right. It shows me how many widgets I have. And I can go ahead and select the last one, or select the listing for the last widget here. So again, we're just selecting the listing, and hopefully I know this was a little fast, but hopefully you guys got your feet wet on this during the first time. So we can just click save and apply, and that's what we have to do to go ahead and create an open house sign-in sheet. Yes, correct. So this one right here specifically would be for an open house sign-in sheet. So, you know, in general, the purpose of creating a landing page on the consumer tab of command is to capture leads. So this is one way we can do so, right, from your open house. But another way, you know, is from just sold or just listed landing pages, right? If they want a private showing or more information on the property, that's where they could contact you, or for a free CMA. Good question, Tina. All right, so let's say we go ahead and created this landing page, all right, and now we need to go ahead and get it to our, you know, iPad or whatever the case may be. So first of all, make sure you, I always forget, so make sure you rename it on the top left. And then let's click Publish Page. Click Yes to update that. Okay, and then as far as getting this landing page that you created to another device, so if you want to get this to your iPad, honestly, the best way you could do that is by either emailing this link to your iPad, or opening command would be probably the easiest. So if you just open command on that iPad or whatever device you're logging into or using the open house sign-in from, you can always come to the consumer tab, click landing pages, and then simply click on the page from here, and this will be the live page for you to just have up. You can also, you know, email yourself this link to pull it up on a different computer, text yourself the link to pull it up on your iPad as well. Those options would work. All right, but real quick, let me show you, because obviously it's very important. Let's take a look at how to best search for the leads that you have procured from these landing pages. Now you'll notice on the right-hand side of each one of these landing pages, it will show you the number of leads that you got from each landing page. However, it just shows you the number, okay? So how we go about actually finding the lead is a couple different ways. You do get notifications, but let's take a look. If you could join me in the the contact database real quick, so I can show you how to search for all leads, and then I will talk about how you're notified of these leads. All right, so I'm in my contact database in command. That is the second icon down. We are clicking filters on the top. Leads only. Okay, so again, contacts on the left-hand side. Select filters. Leads only. I'm going to show you how to set up a smart view to view only your leads from your contact database. And again, I'll be discussing the other ways you're notified about leads, so hang tight. I should be wrapping up class here within 5 minutes, if not quicker, if you guys can hang around. This is, of course, an important part. I appreciate it. All right, so now we pulled up our leads. Now, these are leads that have come in from a variety of different ways to my command account, whether it's from my website, a landing page, or so forth, okay? So to make sure that I am staying on top of all leads, I like to go ahead and check this section every once in a while, and to most easily do that, you can actually create a smart view. So basically what a smart view is you can perform a search in your contact database and then save the search. So then you just have to click like one button to go to that search. So like leads, for example, that might be something you search often. So having a smart view would allow you to search that in one click. So you can do that by, again, we searched first, right? We clicked filters and clicked on leads only. And then if you would like to go ahead and create a smart view, just go ahead and click the smart view option here and click create smart view. And you'll see the example, which is great, Q2 leads. So if you want to be a little more specific than just leads, like maybe, you know, these are leads that you got from a certain time period, you can go ahead and do that. Type that in. You have the option to set this as your default. So what that means is when you come to your contact database, it won't off default show all of your contacts. It'll off default show this smart view, which is just leads, which of course you can clear to view all of your contacts. But you're just deciding, what do you want to show as default? You want all your contacts to show, or do you want leads to show off default? So you can go ahead and save that. And then here on out, all you have to do to view all leads is just come from this drop down where it says Smart View, and you can just simply check it if it's not already selected. Okay, guys, other ways. The other main way that you see leads in Command First is from the Home tab on the top. I just want to let you know there's also a dashboard here of your leads, which mine's probably at the bottom. Sync it a bit me. Here we go. Recent leads. Now you might need to scroll down to find your leads a little further down. So if you do, I don't like that, right? I want my leads to be right at the top. So in case your leads are at the very bottom, which mine was initially when this launched, so yours might as well, you can actually customize this homepage to pull your leads at the top to make sure you're always seeing this as soon as you log into Command by clicking Customize Home here. And I think my leads were at the bottom initially. So it's very easy to move this around. You can click and uncheck what you don't want to display. And you can just simply click on the dots to click and drag to move that around. So you need to click and hold to drag that around to reorganize, and click apply. And I'll move that up to the top. Now, lastly, let's talk about how you're notified of leads. So as far as, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. So you do receive leads in 3 different ways through Command. First of all, you will receive all notifications on the very top right, bell icon. Okay, that'll show you any notifications. You are emailed of notifications. I'll show you how you know which one. And also the Kelly app, if you have the Kelly app on your phone, that will also push lead notifications to your phone. Now I'm going to put this in the chat and pull this over. This is an answers.kw.com article. I don't know if you guys have played with answers.kw.com. That is my favorite thing to read through for late night reading. Okay, and they'll just give you, facts about the KW technology. This right here is specifically telling you how you're notified of leads, or anything in the command system for that matter. So if you scroll down, you'll see the applet it's referring to, referrals, opportunities, contacts, okay? And you'll see how you're notified of those items on the right-hand side, okay? So I want you guys to go ahead and look here to make sure that you see how you are notified for each specific one. Like for contacts, when a lead form is submitted, it looks like we're being notified for Command and Kelly at this time. Okay, I know they're working on making it email for all of these as well, so they're working on that. However, right now that'll be Command and Kelly. All right, so make sure you have the Kelly app on your phone as well, as that will send you push notifications of any new leads that go ahead and submit on your landing page, your website, app, and so forth. All right, guys, so that is listings and landing pages in a nutshell. I know that was a whole lot of information for you guys. So please feel free to shoot us an email on any questions that we can answer, support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can put attention my name, which is Leah, L-E-A-H, in the chat or in the email subject. I'd be more than happy to take a look at your account specifically. I will put this in the chat as well, so you know how to contact me. But I hope this helped. I'll be sticking around to answer a couple more questions in the chat. But if you are watching this live, I hope this helped, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.